What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new edition of the Chris Stevens Writes YouTube show. Y'all already know who I am, but if you're not familiar, this is your first time coming to this channel, welcome. I'm Chris Stevens, a journalist, a sports writer of, going on 23 years. Whew. I really need to start telling some stories about my career on this channel. I'm also an independent novelist. I've written 12 books actually over the last almost 10 years. So I've got a lot of anniversaries coming up. Basically, fall is when my writing career started in two different stanzas. And we'll probably talk more about my writing career as this channel progresses. On this channel, I talk about a multitude of things, which include sports, society, music, culture, television, movies, dating, cooking, whole manner of things. And it's going to be actually be an interesting video that I hope to bring to you guys later this week. I actually have a video of a snow day project that I did. If you scroll back a few videos on this channel back in January, I had a pretty good time doing that. Actually, I think it was either February. Either way, it was sometime in the winter when we actually had snow in Delaware. Believe it or not, that actually happened. But this channel is a multitude of things, and I welcome you along for the ride. And those of you who are returning, welcome. And before I get started, I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I did a little bit of a rush this weekend. Rush, and I use that term loosely and carefully because as a GDI, you know, if you're an HBCU person and you know about the Divine Nine, you know what a GDI is and you know what rush means. But I did a little bit of a sub rush because I was closing in on 50 subs, which is still very small for this channel, but we'll get where we're trying to get. So I wanted to get to 50 subs about a weekend. I was at 44 when I announced it. At this video, we're at 55. So that is a 25% increase from the subscribers I already had to some new subscribers coming in. So to all the new subscribers, I thank you for your subscriptionership. I thank you all. You know, welcome aboard. And again, if you're new, tap the notification bell and the subscribe button so you can be notified of all the new content that drops on this channel. And be sure to leave a comment as well so we can get a discussion going, so we can get the algorithm popping and make this channel grow even bigger. Okay, so now that all of that good stuff is out of the way, something interesting happened this weekend that I'm not going to talk about. You guys really thought I was going to talk about that? No. I do not want the Secret Service knocking on my door. And not to mention, I don't know if I could get fired for it because, my job is pretty much as a contractor these days, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, we're going to keep it positive on this channel. I mean, the world needs positivity. The world needs kind thoughts. The world needs introspection. And that's what I offer on this channel. I'm going to talk politics, obviously. I've done it before and I'll do it again. But for the purposes of this episode, we're just going to keep it light for the most part. So the one thing I like about being home on the weekends these days is that I get to experiment in my kitchen. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, I moved back into a place of my own in September 2022. I had been living with family, helping family, getting their situation straight for over 11 years. And that can be very devastating to a person's confidence, self-esteem, and lifestyle, basically. And I don't regret the choice that I made of leaving because I'm not that far away from my family should they need help, but I needed to be back out on my own. It was a me thing. It's just, I've talked about how sometimes it can be lonesome in this place, but just being able to have your own space and be able to do things when you want to do them and know where the food is, know where this thing is and all of that, it's wonderful. And being home on Saturdays, for the most part, that's going to probably be a short-lived thing at the moment because I still cover college football and college football season starts soon. So I'm going to be riding around again on Saturdays for the most part. But I just love being able, I learned how to cook, just self-taught basically, because it's so interesting because my mother and my grandmother, God rest her soul, they cooked all the time. But I was too busy either playing video games, watching television, or out running the streets with my friends. And I never really paid much attention to what they were doing until they just yelled, "Chris, dinner's ready." That's about it. So, but I remember one thing my mom taught me and told me. She said, you can do anything if you can read and follow instructions. Well, I've been reading since I was 2-3 years old. I was reading those little Disney picture story time books as a youngin'. And following directions, that's not too hard, even though sometimes I don't want to follow directions. I'm not anti-authority in the radical sense, but in some respects, I'm just like, I don't like people telling me what to do for the most part. So that being said, on Saturdays, it's chicken sandwich Saturdays here in the house of Mr. Stevens. And that's because it's not just, the fact that I, I like making my own food. Like if you have ever cooked your own food and it you get it to the taste the way that you want it, it's a great confidence booster. It's a great mood booster. It's a self-esteem booster. And also it's because I refuse to patronize Chick-fil-A. It's a principle thing with me. And not to take anything away from Chick-fil-A, because the workers there are wonderful people. I mean, the my pleasure thing, and I'll get you anything else. I mean, they're great with that. But it still is, I mean, maybe they've changed their tune. I haven't researched it lately, but I remember that Chick-fil-A was funding a group that was, very racist and homophobic and all of that. And I'm like, I don't want that shit on my conscience. I don't care how good the food is. Oh, and so I learned a copycat Chick-fil-A recipe. And I'll post a link to that in the description below if you want to try it yourself. And when finally figured out, when I got it down to a science, I was like, yo, this ain't too bad. This is nice. So on Saturdays, I make chicken sandwiches. Like literally, I play my favorite kind of music, which is like old school hip hop and R&B, mostly R&B. And it's literally about a 30 to 45 minute process, because you gotta let the chicken marinate. Then you put together the dry ingredients, whisk them up, the little egg wash, put the cooking oil in the pan, let that get to a decent sizzle, not too hot, because you don't want burnt chicken, obviously. That was the first 3 times I did it. Yo, my chicken was black as this t-shirt, dog. Shout out to Tupac. But yeah, that chicken was black as hell, man. I was like, what am I doing wrong? And then I realized, oh, I have the burner up too high. Let's turn it down a little bit towards the middle level. And sure enough, it started coming out, nice and even and brown. And I was like, aha, we reached the what we're doing part of this. So yeah. So if I have to spend a little extra on, chicken breast, boneless chicken breast, so be it. But overall, I really enjoy just, cooking in my house and having a good time doing that. And, just living life. And that's something, I mean, that's pretty much what this episode is going to be about. I mean, I don't have any real topics in mind, because I mean, everything that I wanted to talk about, I've talked about on this channel. I mean, I'll rehash topics again and hopefully have guests on. In fact, I think I do have a guest coming on to celebrate a very special anniversary by a very special musical artist. You guys will know more about that as that develops. But yes, overall, I'll just be, trying to get this life thing right. And I found it interesting that when I was on, I mean, because I spend all day on X. I'm not going to lie to you, because I work from home. I wait for a story to be pitched to me, or I find a story to pitch. And if my editor is cool with it, I write it up. And then I go on with the rest of my day. Sometimes I do that 3-4 times a day, because the news never stops, especially in black college sports these days. But I saw a tweet on was it yesterday? Was it Saturday or Friday? I can't remember which day. But I did remember seeing a tweet where somebody said, if someone walked up to you and said, yo, you're ugly, what would you do? And I responded, I've said worse to myself. The world keeps spinning. And one of my mutuals on the social media, shouts out to OMG Shantae, her crazy self. She's like, I was like, no, that's the old me. I'm just saying that I'm cool with where I am now. And there was another tweet that mentioned that men don't get the same empathy for body positivity or body image issues that women do, because women have had it worse. And I 100% agree. So I took those 2 tweets and I started thinking about where I've been, where I'm at now, and where I would like to go in my journey of just being better to myself. And it's funny, because when I think about where I've been, like literally, like this is the longest I've been under 300 pounds my entire life. Like, I've had moments where I've been able to get under 300, stay there for about 6 months to a year. Then something would knock me back down. I'll go right back to my old eating habits, stop working out as much. And then before I knew it, back up above 300. But ever since December of 2019, I've been under 3 bills and stayed a good amount under there. I've been as low as 218. I am at 248 as of this recording. I would like to get back down into the 220s. That is my goal for my birthday. My birthday is September 25th. So I have 10 weeks to lose about 25 pounds. Not sure how that's going to work, but we're going to try. We're going to see how it goes. But overall, just being kinder to myself. And as far as the looks go, that is something I have struggled with. The weight thing and the face card. Like, I've wished for many years that I was classically, traditionally handsome. I really did. And like, to the point of just total despair and distraught that I was not a person that women would, snap their necks at or blink at on the street. Like, who is that? That, was something that I had to learn as I got older just wasn't going to be my reality. Because yes, I could have gone the cosmetic surgery route. I could have, done those types of things, but I don't like knives and I don't like anesthesia. That's why I have not had my knee replaced yet, even though my knee is literally collapsed into itself. I don't do surgery. So I was never going to cut my face up, but I just always thought that I would never be attractive to anyone. Then I had to realize that even if someone, at that point, if someone did find me attractive, I was going to fuck it up anyway. And I did most of the time. I'm still trying to fix that. But I also knew that I had to come to grips with it, with who I was as, my physical self. Like, I had to admit, okay, you're never going to look like Michael Ealy. You're never going to look like Michael B. Jordan. You're never going to look like Denzel Washington or Lenny Kravitz or any of the brothers that women find irresistible. That's not your reality. That will never be your reality. But what can be your reality is that you feel better about yourself and be comfortable with yourself. And if someone else finds you to be that way, is fine with who you are, even better. But you still have to, work on self first. And it's so funny because we talk about looks and different things all the time. And the more you discover women's tastes, you discover that they're not as hung up on this shit as most men are. Like, a lot of men, we have this weird fantasy, this weird alternate reality in our heads that women are just always drawn to the same type of man. He looks good, he's tall, he's muscular, or he's rail thin, or, he has locks, or he has braids, or he has an afro. He has a super deep voice. His skin, he's not dark skinned. These are all things that men have created in their heads to not only just put the blame on women, but also avoid doing self-reflection as to what they can do to better themselves. And yes, I'm including myself in that. No one is immune from criticism on this channel. That includes the person that produces and hosts all the content on this channel. I'm honest with y'all. Like I said, if a woman found me attractive, I usually fucked it up. I did. But at the same time, I knew that, and I knew I was wrong. Like, I knew that, I was just literally just, shooting myself, cheddar bobbing myself. If you remember 8 Mile, I literally was cheddar bobbing myself. But, as I got older and just realized that, okay, the most you can do is lose this weight and keep it off. And that's just been my sole purpose, sole focus. Like, going from the last real time I really was in despair about my weight was after I had the date from hell. I told you guys about that in short detail. I may do an entire episode about it. It's probably gonna be up 10 minutes long, because the date was probably about 10 minutes long. But I got on the scale when I came home and that thing said 350, and I just literally just was emotionally cooked. Like, I went and ordered, like, I think I ate both a cheesesteak and a large pizza that day. And then I said, okay, in the morning, this starts over. I'm going to get serious about weight loss. And I started for the wrong reason. I started because I said, I will show you, this woman that, you know, broke me down in so many words. I said, okay, I will show you. And then, of course, a little thing called the pandemic happened. So, after that, it was like, okay, the gym is closed. What else can you do? And that's when I started running outside, because I was already running on a treadmill. So the gym is closed, and I was like, all right, I'll just take it outside. And I eventually got down to 218 pounds in the winter of 2021. I think I scared myself. But after the gym closed, I literally had nothing to show. I didn't have anyone to show off for but myself. And so once I realized that not only did working out give me a better look, it just made me feel better, because just being active just does something for your psyche. It was like, okay, I can do this. And I've maintained for the last 5 years. But also at the same time, I've had to come to grips with the fact that no, losing weight does not make you, just automatically irresistible. It helps your confidence, but it doesn't make you all that more dateable. And those are things that I'm still working on. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's crazy because, people that know you the closest are mostly going to be encouraging. And my family is, and so are my friends. And they're like, you're never going to meet the love of your life if you stay indoors all day. And respectfully, we live in Delaware. Yeah. Delaware. You tell me where people go to find partners. Because I can tell you straight up, this place is incestuous as hell. There's 6 degrees of separation everywhere else. Delaware, there's 2.5 tops. Like, literally, I'm trying Facebook dating. Yes, full disclosure, trying Facebook dating, just out of curiosity. And almost every woman I see has at least 2 or 3 mutual friends of mine. That's too close for me. And that's not even from like a slut shaming perspective. That's just, I don't need people to know that I'm trying to shoot my shot at people. Like, I mean, it's weird because as a man, you literally want to be attractive to women, but sometimes we do the polar opposite of what it takes to attract a woman. And for me, that earlier in my life, it just meant, projecting my issues onto women, hating on other guys. And now that I've mostly cleansed myself of that, I just don't want to go outside, because I don't think there's anybody out here, because Delaware is that small. And everybody's like, oh, you could just go to Philly and, meet women. And I'm like, do I want to drive to Philly every weekend? No, because I'm scared of 95. So I'm literally fighting a battle with myself here, that I'm trying to figure out, how can I meet people, go out on dates, have this fun that I want to have on a regular basis. And then for some strange reason, I'm doing everything but what it takes to, get that procedure popping. It's a vicious cycle, but it's a cycle that, you can change. Only I can change. And I think that's something that a lot of men need to figure out, is that you have to take investment in yourself. And that includes doing all the work, holding yourself accountable, being honest where you screwed up, learning that women are human beings. Something we all forget. Every man has forgotten. Every straight man, every heterosexual man has forgotten that women are human beings too. And because, we place such an emphasis on a particular prize or a particular part of a woman's body, they know it and they're not going for it. And it's crazy because, as I've said countless times before on this particular podcast, that women, heterosexual women, they like sex too. But they're not just going to give it up for the sake of giving it up just because you can't be bothered to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. And that's something that is a lesson that all of us have had to learn. Every single one of us. And being able to be honest with ourselves that, okay, maybe we are a little hypersexual. Maybe we do need to slow down and try to consider what women think, what women feel, what, you know, that and you don't have to do it from a space of means to an end. Like, you could just be generally and genuinely curious about women. And there's nothing wrong with that. And everybody's going to, people, and a lot of the enlightened and involved men have been saying on social media, they're not saying, just be weak. They're saying be open to learning, what makes a woman tick, what she likes, what she doesn't like. And not just for the sake of, just trying to get her in bed, but just because you want to know her better. And then, of course, there are going to be dudes that say, oh, you're pandering and all of that. And it's like, okay, maybe they are, but but that's not your call to make. They'll be found out if they are, but most of the time it's just these dudes. A lot of men have evolved. I mean, there's still plenty more that need to evolve, but there are a lot of guys that have just evolved beyond the space of, I'm just going to do the bare minimum so I can get the maximum, doing the least to get the most. And women caught on to that years ago, but now they just don't care anymore. They don't care about men's feelings, and they're in their right to do that. So just coming back to those two posts on Twitter, I'm not calling it X. I am not. So what's funny is I'm probably going to post a clip from this on X or Twitter. I'm going to post this on Twitter. I'm going to tweet it. I'm not going to post it on X. I'm going to tweet it on Twitter. And I forgot the point I was making. You know what? That's crazy when that happens. But yeah, you can't. Yeah, coming back to those two posts, those two tweets about what if somebody, what would you do if somebody called you ugly in the face, or what if, how men don't have body positivity, body image, empathy. And it just really dawned on me that where I am in my life right now is better than where I was 5 years ago. Because I remember when I first got under 300 for, to date, what has been the longest lasting time. It was a few days before Christmas, because I got invited to a party, which I really can't, well, I could talk about it, but I might talk about it on another episode. I mean, this is a grown folks channel. And since I said it's a grown folks channel, you probably know what kind of party I'm meaning. But yeah, this was a few days before I got invited to go to a unique sort of gathering. And I said, okay, I made it. Now it's up to me to stay there. And of course, going into 2020, I was rolling. And then March, the world shut down. And again, I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, you don't have anybody to, prove anything to, because everybody is going to be indoors for the foreseeable future. Do you want to keep going? And if you want to keep going, you got to figure out ways to keep going. And so that was basically my choice, to keep going, because I wanted, to feel better about myself. Yes, I still wanted to be attracted to women, but I also realized that working out made me feel good as a person, physically and on the interior as well. So I learned my lesson that you can't spend your life trying to impress others, because even if you get the results you want, you still have to live with yourself. And even though I wish, my life, dating could be better. Like I said, I wish for many years. Oh my God, so much time I obsessed to the point of just emotional and mental breakdown, that I wanted to be handsome. I wanted to be attractive. I wanted to be fine. But then I had to realize that even if that wasn't my reality, I had to carry myself as though I am that. And I'm still working on it. I mean, granted, That's why getting back on this channel was huge for me, because y'all see my face every day, every time I post a video. And I have to look into a camera as I'm talking and when I do these videos. And I have to look at myself for 15, 20. Damn, this video is going long again. Like I said, I like to keep videos to 15 to 25 minutes. We are past 25, but whatever. You know, that's the beauty of, you know, editing clips down. You can do all of that and just make that work however you want to work. But yeah, I have to look into a camera and speak to you guys. I have to live with my voice. I have to live with my facial features. My one eye is kind of wonky. The other one is like, y'all can look at my face and see my face looks kind of tilted. I think that's probably because I got hit in the face with a baseball bat when I was 15, and you know, it kind of altered me up a little bit. And no, it was not a fight. It was not a fight. Okay, so it's a funny story. It's actually a very funny story. So why my face appears to be kind of like, you know, crooked. Summer of 1997. We are playing baseball. Some friends of mine, some guys I used to hang out with. Like, we would just literally just play baseball all day long. And we were coming back from the park one day. Walking home. One kid named Joey. We're still cool to this day. Like, I haven't seen him in forever, but if I see him now, we're going to talk a long time. He just lost his mother too recently. Damn. Rest in peace, Miss Terry. But yeah, so Joey's swinging the bat. Not, you know, just like casual swing, not thinking nothing of it. My dumb ass is walking behind him, and I see this girl across the street. And of course, in the you know, as a horny young boy, in the girl's crazy stage of my life, which has not stopped. I'm woman crazy now, but girl crazy back then. I look at her and I'm just like, damn. And all of a sudden I turn back and all I see is Easton. Worst headache I have ever had in my entire life. And I mean, Joey and the whole crew is freaking out. Like, they are literally carrying me. And this was back when I was probably like, I was heavier then than I am now. So I'll probably say like 275, 280 or something like that. These dudes are carrying me by the arms back to my house because my head is just like splitting, like just pounding. And by the time we get to my house, it literally looks like from here, somebody opened up my forehead, dropped a grapefruit in, and sewed it back up. And Joey is panicked. And I tell my mom what happened because I'm still cognizant, but I'm in pain. And my mom is like, Joey, don't worry about it. It was an accident. And I'm like, yeah, Ma, I was looking at a girl across the street. I didn't see her. And school was still in session. So I had 2 weeks left of school with this big ass knot, this Hasim Rahman hematoma in the middle of my head. And I got clowned relentlessly. It eventually went down, but my face was altered. I didn't realize it until I looked at some pictures from 9th and 10th grade year. And then every picture afterwards, like, yo, my face looks a little crooked, dog. But it hasn't affected my neurological or cognitive abilities. It has not altered my thinking. It has not altered who I am. I can still, you know, move all arms, fingers, legs, and all of that good stuff. And so, yeah, it's like, I mean, that's probably why, like, you know, this one eyebrow's a little higher than the other. And this one eye is smaller than the other. Because I was looking at a girl across the street. I got my skull cracked, caved in by an aluminum bat, you know, wayward aluminum bat. But yeah, I coming back to the point, I just had to I have to look at myself and say, Chris, this is who you are physically. And that doesn't have to be the end of your story. You can work on being a better person inside as well. And those are some things that I'm still working on. And that's part of the journey that I'm on. And that's what this channel is for, to, you know, be honest with you guys about everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm trying to get better at, you know, not just from a professional perspective, but from a personal perspective. And I'm happy to share those things with you guys. So we've talked for 30 minutes, so I'm going to shut up now. So thank y'all for watching this edition of the Chris Stevens Writes YouTube show. Greatly appreciate your time as always. Contact information, as always, will be in the description below. Thank you all for subscribing. On to all my new subscribers. If you're not a new subscriber, you're more than welcome to do so. Subscribe and tap the notification bell to be notified of all new content that comes on this channel. And be sure to like and comment on the video if you like it so we can get this algorithm popping. And this channel can be the best. Oh, shit, just dropped the mic. Didn't mean to drop the mic yet. Let me fix this because I'm ready to log off now. All right. So, okay. So until the next time we speak, you good folks be good or be good at it.